All right. So there's this story that I want to round up with since that was the headline today. I'll take another extra 5 minutes or so to talk about the actual lessons that I want us to extract out of it. Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Let's see. All right, there you have it. So we're talking about Cardi B, right? So there's a news. They're separated. She says she's been single for a while. Cardi B is an American rapper. Offset, the husband, is also an American rapper. In my opinion, these are kind of people that have never been. They should never have been married. Okay, and there's a lot of people like that roaming around the streets. I don't recommend marriage for everyone. I just don't. Particularly people that might be coming from a troubled lifestyle, stripper. There's allegations of drugging men to take their money, or you're a rapper coming off the street and you have a lifestyle where there's a bunch of women drug and drinking around you all the time. No, you shouldn't be going into marriage. It's not gonna work. You just create children that will have additional layers of trouble to deal with in society. But anyway, Cardi B said in an Instagram live on Monday that she was single, confirming rumors. This is according to CBS News, confirming rumors that her relationship with rapper Offset has ended. The rappers have split publicly multiple times. Right? Once you notice he's going back and forth, and you're in strip club and the other person's strip club, don't do that to yourself. Okay? You're better off being single. But I know you want to also eat out of the beauty of marriage. But if you know that this is the kind of lifestyle you want, or you're talking yourself into not wanting marriage, even in that respect, don't go into marriage because it won't work. Because you will question every time there's a crisis that happens. You will question. You would think maybe you will question the compatibility and things like that all the time. But anyway, she said, I've been single for a minute now, but I have been. Let me bring the mic closer to myself. All right. I've been single for a minute now, but I have been afraid not afraid. I've been afraid to not afraid. All right. So if you're a confused person too, probably a good idea to make sure you set yourself straight before you enter. Try to do marriage, right? I just don't know how to tell the world, said the Grammy award-winning rapper in the live video. Fans noticed that the duo had unfollowed one another's Instagram, unfollowing each other on Instagram in the last week, prompting speculation. In a previous live video, Cardi cryptically alluded to her new relationship status, saying, "You gotta rid of dead weight." She gotta get rid of dead weight, right? So their marriage had become dead weight. For how long? How long have they been married for? 2 years, 3 years? Who knows? They have 2 kids. That's all that matters. Okay, so their marriage is basically going to be the life of those kids. No matter how they try to escape from each other, it's too late. Okay, I'll say mentality, procrastination, laziness, and a lot of people are dead weight too, she said. She also posted on Instagram story with text that read, when you just outgrow relationship, all right, if you're using languages like that already before you enter marriage, it's probably a good idea to stay away from marriage. I'm just being honest with you, okay? If all of this are lining together right now for you, it's probably a bad idea to engage marriage, okay? Does that exist? Yes, it exists. Is that a reason to run away from a marriage? No. There are deeper issues, and those issues should have been the focus, not outgrow relationships. Adding another story, I'm tired of protecting people's feelings. I gotta put myself first. All right. So putting yourself first is something you should be doing every day of your life. Self-preservation first, so you can have enough to pour into other people, right? So if you're already feeling that way, or you've never assessed that situation before, do you put yourself first? Do you have a conflict between putting yourself first and being selfless? Is that a conflict for you in ideologies? That's something you need to assess. Okay, you need to talk about that. Have conversation. Ask people, what does this look like inside of a marriage? Because if you don't, it will come back and haunt you. Okay, Cardi B and Offset began dating in early 2017 and were married in September of the same year. Yeah, in late 2018, with all that lifestyle, so much power, so much money, everything around them, you could predict it. Come on, all right? You can predict this. Not wishing any bad on them because they're stuck together for life anyway. I'm just letting you know, if you want this to last a long time, you could kind of predict this. There's certain types of people, they have a certain type of lifestyle. They don't need to come into marriage and become another additional variable or additional elements or in the stats, right? Of terrible marriages that are falling apart. It's just not needed, right? In late 2018, several months after the birth of their daughter, Cardi B announced that the two had decided to part ways. As far back as 2018, they've been having struggles. Think about Cardi B. Does she seem like a kind of person that would say, let me work on my marriage, let's go to therapy? Does she seem like that kind of person? If he did, does she seem like a person that would learn anything from that? What about Offset? Even worse, probably, right? All right, they reconciled in mid-2019, but Cardi filed for divorce from Offset in 2020, okay, before withdrawing the filing weeks later. They have since welcomed a second child, so they're having babies in the middle of all of this. It's a bad idea. So anyway, relationships are dynamic. That's one lesson for you. And they do change, and you should prepare to learn how to adjust when they do change and they are moving. Like, it's a moving target. You have to prepare to better yourself. That's the leverage point. If you keep pointing fingers, you'll collect. Communication is key always, but more so effective communication. If a person seems like they're a little bit off, and you might not be able to have a conversation with them, as in, like, even if you try to listen to them, they will be busy abusing you, so you now get triggered. If you're already smelling that, you probably should not be getting married, right? Self-care is an ongoing thing. There's no end to self-care. It's something there's no end to it. You don't start at the end of marriage or begin at the end of marriage or beginning of marriage. If you're bringing that up, you were the problem probably in the first place, okay? You can do self-care while you're inside. You can back off of each other for a second to figure out what's going on, right? But like I said, this is probably a marriage that should not have started in the first place, okay? And also, when you bring in public relations into it, when you bring in the attention, the massive amount of monitoring spirits, probably we're talking about 100 million all in total, that's additional layer of energy you have to manage. With not having the skill set, the arrogance, the pride, your expectations are probably off, of course, right? Why don't you wait until things, after you become big like Cardi B, why don't you wait a little bit, get on the other side of what that looks like in reality for you before you're trying to do marriage? It's not going to work. It's not going to work, okay? All right, so those are some of the lessons that I thought we can, cutting off dead weight. It's not going to happen. That's the father of your kids for the rest of your life, and that's additional layer of, that's it. You have to continue to manage that, okay? Maybe even harder. Now, what can she do? She needs to do the same thing that we would have asked her to do from the beginning. She needs to continue to better herself. If this was a normal Cardi B, I can't take her too seriously, Yeah. So, and keep in mind that anything that's worthwhile in life requires work. It will not work if you don't work. All right. But the work gets easier with time. Okay. And of course, you should always love yourself, respect yourself, have some self-respect. People will mimic the level of self-love, self-respect, self-esteem that you have for yourself. That's always true, okay? So, but I don't think that was Cardi B's issue. I think it's too much attention, backgrounds that are not necessarily designated for long-term marriage. Marriage is not something you play with, right? You don't need to do that, okay? And we have enough people in today's society doing that. They're playing with marriage. They think it's something that, we should just play with, But yes. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for everybody that came up on the stage. I appreciate you. Chinye, Marriott, everybody that was in the chat. I appreciate you. Natu, we don't go to sleep. It was awesome. All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.